By now, most people have heard about presidential candidate Donald Trump's bragging about sexually assaulting women on an audio tape, and how he's used his celebrity status and wealth to lure women into having sex. The comments came during an interview for the entertainment show Access Hollywood in 2005. Trump has apologized to anyone who may have taken offense to his remarks and dismissed them by calling them locker room talk. While outrage at these comments has been widespread and all over social media, virtually no one is talking about how and why these comments actually contribute to perpetuating sexual assault. That's what I want to spend the next few minutes in this video talking about. First, a few numbers. Between 18 and 20% of women going to college today will report that they have experienced the kinds of assaults that Donald Trump brags about in the video: being kissed without their consent, or even after they've said no, being grabbed in their private areas, and other types of activities. Between 8 and 10% will report that they have been raped. Many more will be harassed by the same types of things that Trump has talked about when he pressures women to have sex, even after they object and after they say no. These are real numbers. They are remarkably robust, although some recent research has suggested that the exact proportions differ pretty significantly from campus to campus. But this is only the tip of the iceberg. We have decades of research that show that certain groups on college campuses, most notably some fraternities, sororities, and athletic teams, hold and act on the attitudes voiced by Trump and other men like him, as well as some women. This so-called locker room talk perpetuates and sustains campus sexual assault in at least four ways. First, this banter treats its subjects as if they are objects. They don't have feelings, and their feelings are irrelevant to what the people using the talk want to do to them. The targets, for example, the co-host of Access Hollywood, or perhaps a girl attending a fraternity party for the first time as a freshman, are treated and considered simply pawns to be moved around by the people that are using the talk. This language and attitude supports the idea that the targets of this banter don't have what professionals call agency, the ability to act on your own behalf. It also takes away the legitimacy of agency, because their targets are never even considered important enough to have feelings or agency. This is what people mean when they refer to the objectification of women, and it's fundamentally inconsistent with the principles of a free and healthy society. Healthy societies treat people with respect inside the room as well as outside the room. Second, this banter reinforces the idea that the targets, women in this case, are victims. They simply have to take the assault without providing any defense. As Trump says, he can get away with anything, and his celebrity and wealth prevents his targets from taking defensive action. Their role is to play victim. Third, this locker room talk reinforces the idea that boys will be boys, and our boys, as immature as they may be, should be ignored or dismissed because their hormones or testosterone make them incapable of treating the objects of their sexual desire with dignity and respect. This locker room talk, and the attitude it represents, allows men to deflect from taking responsibility for bad behavior, and the harm that may be created by others who in the real world do what they joke about doing. Boys will be boys, and they will continue to hit on girls because that's what they do. They don't have to respect the human dignity of the people that they joke about, or any harm that may be created as a result of that joking. The fourth reason this talk contributes to a climate supporting sexual assault, no matter what Trump or his defenders say, is that it treats bad behavior as if it's normal and acceptable behavior. Research in psychology has shown that attitudes and behavior are intertwined, and they can't be separated or compartmentalized as easily as Trump or other people that support locker room talk suggest that they can. In fact, talk eventually becomes behavior, attitude does become behavior, and the bad behavior becomes normalized through these attitudes. Ironically, the night before the audio and the videotape of Trump's talk became public, I had a student in one of my classes talk about how one of her friends was roofied. Roofie is the slang for Rohypnol, a powerful sedative that is one of the most common date rape drugs used on campuses. In other words, Rohypnol is the drug that campus rapists use to put Trump's words into action. Now, I'd like to say a few words about Billy Bush. He's the co-host of Access Hollywood, who has recently been let go from NBC Universal. I don't know Billy Bush. I don't know any of the principals involved in this incident, but I think something much more significant is going on here than simply an employer letting go an employee for bad behavior or trying to make a public statement about not tolerating these kinds of words or offenses. I think what is going on in this case is that Billy Bush is experiencing the real world consequences of what happens when locker room talk becomes public. This talk is damaging and destructive for the people he works with on a daily basis. By engaging in this banter, in fact encouraging it, Billy Bush diminished and disrespected his coworkers. In 30 years, I've worked in a variety of different organizations. I've worked within teams. I've built teams. And trust and respect is crucial for the team to operate, very much like hosts do, or many of the team members in creating a syndicated show like Access Hollywood. So I think Billy Bush has lost the respect, and he also has recognized that that trust cannot be rebuilt. Your team members know that you have their back and that they have yours. The fact that Billy Bush stood by while Trump was engaging this banter, as well as other men, meant that he was showing disrespect for his coworkers, and that this dismissiveness, this indignity that he tolerated and even abetted, ended up destroying their work relationship. And so his departure is inevitable. So locker room talk is never just locker room talk. This Donald Trump incident is just one high-profile example of a much bigger problem. Until we begin treating people with the same respect in our private conversations as we do our public conversations, this problem will be difficult to resolve on campuses. It'll be difficult for our children as well as the young adults we hope they become on college campuses. If you want more information on campus sexual assault, the problems, statistics, here are a few resources you can consult. Consult the National Institute of Justice and search on their website, Sexual Assault on Campus, and you'll have access to all sorts of data and reports on this issue. Another valuable resource is an advocacy organization called endrapeoncampus.org. There you can find contact information as well as other data on universities and colleges that are dealing with sexual assault allegations under Title IX investigations and other information. You can also get my book, Unsafe on Any Campus, College Sexual Assault and What We Can Do About It, on Amazon.com, at Barnes & Noble, and other independent and online booksellers. You can also visit my websites, www.srstaley.com or www.campusninjaselfdefense.com to find out more information about my writings and this issue, as well as links to other resources.